going to talk a little bit about Starfall. I think Starfall is a very complete web page that includes a lot of useful resources and books and activities that we can include in our lesson plans. Once you enter to the web page, this is like the main page of this web page, and you just have to click on whatever category you would like to be teaching or be included in your class. The first category I wanted to explain and show a little bit, it's about math songs, and I think it's very useful to include in order to create or make your process of teaching math a little bit more fun. I personally think that by using these videos or these songs, students can learn to recognize numbers and start getting acquired of that order from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think that using songs and videos and making them like dance or have a little bit of experience on the acquiring or the learning process of a language, it's going to be better for them, because then they are going to remember that they dance and they sing something, but also they learn about numbers and they learn about the correct pronunciation. So I think that using these type of resources, it's very fun for them, and we are teaching them even though we are having fun. Another resource related to math, it's about number recognition and learning to pronounce and to count and understand how much in quantity does that number means. So in this case we have number 1. They will know that the shape of the number 1. They will learn to pronounce number 1, but also listening to it, and they also would know how to sign that number 1 and how many things we have with number 1. So I think it's very useful, because then we can teach something by visualizing also, and they will not only be hearing it from us, but they will see some characters and some videos and some fun things and representations that they are going to have for remembering, again, having an experience and remembering what we are talking and what also we are teaching to them. And it's not a boring process or only just hearing to us, but they were going to have fun. As we know, in preschool we are not only teaching grammar or numbers, we're also teaching them and creating and their personality and their way of seeing themselves. So this webpage has also a part of building myself. So in terms of who am I, what am I, how do I look, how are my eyes, my hair, do I have glasses. So it's more building a character, personalizing the webpage by themselves. What is my age? So I think it's it helps them visualizing their external features and external characteristics, and not only learning math or learning words, but also learning about themselves. Another of the categories that I really like is the one about the alphabet and the ABCs and the sounds we do and how to pronounce these sounds and everything that has to be with pronunciation. Something that I really, really, really love about this webpage and that caught my attention immediately was that they are very inclusive, and they have a part for sign language. So we are practicing not only with our hearing students, but also with our deaf students. And we don't have to worry about, okay, what do I do with my deaf student? How do I include him or her when I practice the ABC? Well, it's easy. We just use Starfall, and they are going to be practicing with all the kids, because it also has sound and it also makes the pronunciation, but it does the sign for them. So I think this is one of the things that I really like about this webpage, and I think it's going to be helpful for me when I need to teach my students. And if I have a deaf student, then I know that I'm going to have a resource that it's inclusive with them. Another thing that we have, it's practicing the sound we have for the letter, not only the sound that it makes on a word, but the sound that it makes alone. So in this case, it's the basic sound but we also have apples or alligator. So it's joining the sound with the word, but also being visual and realizing what's an apple. Okay, it's red. An apple, it's and with A. So it's remembering a lot of things. It has the same thing with all the letters. We have L. In this case, the L sound is U, so it's U. And then we have the lips, U. So it's like practicing a lot with visual things and listening skills and developing a lot of skills of English that are necessary, but in a very fun way. I really enjoy like having like different resources in the same web page. For example, in this time or in this web page, we can have like reading time, and of course, books are totally necessary and they will give our children or our students a different experience. But I think that watching the story in an iPad or in a video beam will also make them understand the story, like the story. They like watching animated things. So I think this resource is very special for them, and we can have like activities based on these, like make them act what the ants are doing, or make them act what the story is saying or acting. So it's like we can have like different activities based only on one story, rather than if you are in reading time with the book, you can do the same thing, but it gives you as a teacher like not as flexibility you would like to have. And something that it's very like I like a lot about this is that you can either like play the music or play the listening of the book, and they have like sounds, but you can also like narrate your story and like give your personality as a teacher to the story, and not like depend on what page is doing. And if you as a teacher you don't like having the animated stories and you like more traditional book, this page also has like a library of different books that you can show. And again, if you want to read the book, then you can do it. If you want to show them in the video beam or in a tablet or in a computer, then you can do it. It's like a digital book, and it has like all the pages, and it is like the experience of having a real book or a physical book, but in a resource that it has a lot of different things, and in a digital resource. So I think it is also very functional for you. And again, if you want to narrate this story, then you can do it. If you want your students to do it, you can do it as well. But if you want them to practice their listening skills and practice like the pronunciation and start like getting used to, then you can also play the listening of the book, and it has it. Another of the things that I really enjoyed about this one is that it has different topics, and specific topics. In this case, the one that really caught my attention was about Earth Day, and about to create a conscience in our students of recycling and cleaning and taking care of our planet. So these are very interactive like games. There are like resources that you can use as games or as assessment or as introduction to your topics. So they ask questions to your students. They make them, if you want to be like personalizing like to each student, and you can analyze it. They have like skills to recognizing, okay, what is a can, what is a paper, what is plastic, what's happening when I'm cleaning up the river, what is happening to the nature, or in this case what is the use of how can I plant some like trees or things like that. So it's not just like teaching them to read or to listen to things or to do math, but it's also teaching them different topics that are on everyday life, and that they are going to need not only in preschool but also in their future. Again, I really enjoyed this resource. I really enjoyed Starfall. I think it's a very, very, very complete web page. You can have different activities, as I was telling you. You can do assessments, you can do games or play. You can have like practice listening skills, reading skills, creating a very fun learning process, adapting ourselves to their ways of living, that it's a very digital way and a very technological way. So this is like the best resource for me. And again, you have to pay for for all the features, but I don't think this is like a waste of money. I think it's an investment to not only to us as teachers, but also to our students' learning process.